Hey everybody, how's everyone doing? Today is November the 30th of 2022. I'm a little late today because work gave me paid time off for bereavement for my mother so that I can go take care of the house and everything else. So this is not going to be a normal reading of the Bible today. I actually found something really interesting that I would like to talk about. Just just something random that popped up in Twitter yesterday, as a matter of fact, and I thought it was really interesting that something like this would show up. So I wanted to stop and talk about it because it has something to do with stuff that we have talked about before. So I'm going to pull you in here. There we go. Let me make sure everything's running, everything's good. You have to forgive me. I just got done eating, so my throat is a little messed up. So somebody pointed this out yesterday. This is the US patents 6754472-B1. This is a method and apparatus for transmitting power and data using the human body. Sure enough, the parent company for this is Microsoft. This was made all the way back in 2004, but it was granted, or it was applied for in 2000, but it was granted in 2004. So this is old. This has been out there for a while, and I don't know how many people have talked about this before. I've never heard about this until now. I've seen things like this pop up in media where they've talked about something like this patent, but I've never seen this before. So this is pretty much what it says. An apparatus for transmitting power and data using the human body. It is exactly what you think it is. So the abstract: methods and apparatus for distributing power and data to devices coupled to the human body are described. The human body is used as a conductive medium, e.g., a bus, over which power and or data is distributed. Power is distributed by coupling a power source to the human body via a first set of electrodes. One or more device, and they spelled device wrong, to be powered, e.g., peripheral devices, are also coupled to the human body via additional sets of electrodes. The devices may be, e.g., a speaker, which is weird, display, watch, keyboard, etc. A pulsed DC signal or AC signal may be used as the power source. By using multiple power supply signals of differing frequencies, different devices can be selectively powered. Digital data and or other information signals, e.g. audio signals, can be modulated on the power signal using frequency and or amplitude modulation techniques. That's a little weird. That whole thing is it's a little weird, but basically what that's saying is they can put some kind of device on your body and send signals through your body. Not only that, but they can power these devices using your body. This is some real-time matrixy kind of stuff where you are a battery. You've seen this in the Matrix. I've seen this idea of using human beings as an antenna in, what was the name of that? Silicon Valley. It was a show on HBO. I used to love that show. I think it was right towards the end where they were setting up their network. Their big idea was we can use the human body to send the signal, because the phone sends a signal through your body and your body amplifies it. It's the same way as if you were standing, you could be standing 60, let's just say 60 feet away from your car. And if you have like, the little electrical lock devices, dongles, whatever they're called, you can hit it and it won't happen. But I'll be damned if you take that thing and you put it up by your neck and you hit the button and it'll hit it. Your body is electricity. So it sends that signal through. This is stuff that we've seen before. But this would have been the same thing. The show was telling us the same thing, is that while you're holding your phone, your body becomes the antenna. If anybody has ever stood by a radio before, or a television, especially an old television, if you're old enough to know what rabbit ears are, and you find out that just holding the rabbit ears of a television, you can get a better signal, and you might have to stand there for a whole show to get, something good, or you might have to have like a clothes hanger or something that you might have to have all the way, back to your seat so that you can hold just so you can watch your show. People understand that because your body is an antenna. But this is Microsoft saying this, that they can give you devices, speakers, displays, watches, keyboards. Now, I have kind of been under the realization that Microsoft and Apple are not against each other. They are together. Yes, they offer different products. They offer different systems. They offer different ways of doing things, but it's all under the same umbrella. They're all making the same stuff for the same reasons. Think about an Apple Watch. How many people are wearing Apple Watches or Google lenses? The glasses with the stuff. This is all part of the same thing. They're sending and receiving data through our bodies. Are radio towers even a thing anymore? Do you not get a signal out in the middle of the wild because there aren't any radio towers, or there just aren't any humans? It's interesting to think about. Now, I'm not going to say, all the radio towers are fake, and that, everything is based upon, human beings holding phones. I'm not going to say that. That sounds a little bit off the wall, but at the same time, we're questioning everything here. But it's been brought up that certain radio towers that are the fifth generation radio towers, you can't even say the number and the letter side by side without your video, something happening to your video. But some people said the fifth generation towers don't do anything. Some people said that they've opened up fifth generation cell phones and they can't find the fifth generation chips, that they're only LTE and 4G chips, fourth generation chips, that this whole fifth generation thing may not even really exist. It may be something else entirely. And if you are any form of conspiratorial minded, you kind of understand why these towers are being put up. They're sending a different kind of signal. They're doing something other than giving you a phone signal. This patent only enforces that theory that these towers may be for something else. I don't know. This is the first time I've ever seen this, though. Again, I've heard of the idea. I've heard of the concept, the hive mind concept. Taking hundreds and thousands of people and using their energy to power something. I mean, it's the Matrix. It's what was the movie? There was a movie back in the 90s that was just like that. It was kind of like the Matrix, but just a little bit different, where they were hooking up human beings back to back to back and using them as energy. It's the vampire effect, pretty much is what it is. You know, you use human beings in any way, shape, or form, whether you're drinking their blood or whether you're absorbing their energy or whether you are using them as a living battery, sucking their power, their energy. It's that vampire effect that we've heard time and time and time again. But now it has become digital. It has become electric. It has become this completely scary monster that, you know, is growing out of control. And a lot of people have been talking about it. But this is the first time I've heard this. This is the first time I've heard somebody actually put it down in writing, and they've said, you know, this is an actual thing. You know, we've patented this. And you know, if you patent something, you don't patent something just to not make it. You really don't. It's if you patent something, you have the ability to produce this, whether it is in secret or not. You have the ability to produce this, and you have the ability to use this. It's like weather manipulation patents. They didn't just patent those just to not use them. It's amazing how many people I will tell, you know, well, maybe if you think the weather's bad, then maybe you ought to get the government to use all these weather manipulating patents that they've had on the books since the 1940s. And they laugh at me. Oh, that's not true. No, it's true. They're there. And if they're there, they're going to use them. Why would you put them on the books just to not use them? And they've been telling us that they've been using them in sly, subtle ways. So why wouldn't they do that? Does your phone... Now, here's a question. One of those question everything questions. Does your phone actually work without you touching it? Think about that for a second. Like, is the signal on your phone... Now, I know that we're getting Wi-Fi signals, and, you know, my computer gets a Wi-Fi signal because I'm not sitting here. But when you're talking like LTE and, you know, the towers, does it actually get a signal before you touch it? Think about that for a second. Is the signal stronger as you touch it? Are they using this now against us and we don't know it? It's questions to contemplate. I'm not saying that's the way it is. Again, it's just questions to contemplate. They have this patent, and they're saying that they can pulse a signal, and we know that these phones pulse signals. They're little microwave signals, and I think inside of the description, let me see if the claims are kind of useless. Let me see. The present invention relates to methods and apparatus for transmitting power and data, and more particularly to methods of powering devices coupled to the human body and communication information between the devices, using your body to power devices. But not only that, using your body to send and receive data through these devices. Your body can't send and receive data, even though your body can absorb energy from the world, even though your body can absorb whatever through the ether. You know, there's enough talk about that, and I believe that there's some kind of power flow and communication that we get through the world. I mean, really, all you have to do is take your shoes off and go grind yourself on the grass to understand that you are absorbing something out of the ground. So there is some kind of energy flow to it. But this is that same kind of thing. Your body is sending something through a machine so that machine can send that data to somewhere else. Is that the way that it works? Small portable devices are commonplace today. Small portable devices commonly used by people today include wristwatches, radios, communication devices, pagers, cell phones, PDAs. Remember, this is 2000, so PDAs were still a thing, to name but a few exemplary devices. As electronics manufacturing techniques have improved, weight and power consumption requirements of many small portable devices has decreased. Which is interesting, though, because you can now have a phone that will go dead within a day just by using it. Power consumption requirements have decreased? I don't know about that. You're having to charge your phones more and more and more. Is it the batteries that have decreased? Or are they sending heavier signals through your body? Think about that for a second. Again, we're talking about a patent that could secretly be sending data, signals, through your body whenever you touch them. And we know that the batteries go dead faster. They don't last nearly as long as they used to. I mean, some of them, when they're new, they can last for, 24 hours or so. But as you go on, you find out that they just start decreasing. Now, you can say that's the life of the battery just happening the way it is. But there's also apps now that constantly talk about tracking you. There's almost always something going on in the background of your phone that you have to go, like if you own an iPhone, you have to go in through the settings. You can go through all the videos on YouTube that tell you, turn this off, turn this off, turn that off, turn this tracking thing off, turn this off. What if there's other things going on in the background? We know that they can track everything we do 24/7. Why can't they send a signal through our bodies to other devices? What if the radio towers are nothing? What if they're sending out something. Whenever you go up to a radio tower, you get the microwave energy that's off the charts. And then, you talk about insect die-offs and bird die-offs, and you talk about all these other things. What if they are killing the world? What if those radio towers are doing something that they're not telling us that they're supposed to do? The data is actually coming through our bodies. It just makes you think. At the same time, capabilities of the devices increased as well. As a result, it is now possible to power many small electronic devices, including watches, audio players, personal data assistants, portable computers, with a relatively little power. Given the small size and portable nature of many of today's portable electronic devices, people have begun wearing them on their bodies. Sadly, that has become worse and worse as time has gone by. For example, wristwatches are worn on people's arms, pagers and PDAs are worn on people's belts, and small displays are sometimes mounted on headgear. Remember, this was 2000. As a result of carrying all these electronic devices, there's also a significant amount of redundancy in terms of input-output devices included in portable devices used by a single person. For example, they all may include a speaker. Now, this is where it gets weird. We are talking about a speaker using an audio signal through the body. In order to reduce the redundancy in input-output devices, networking of portable electronic devices has been proposed. By exchanging data as part of a network, a single data input or output device can be used by multiple portable devices, eliminating the need for each of the portable devices to have the same input-output device. Basically, what they're saying is they want you to become the input-output device. Various approaches have been made. The use of RF signals, we've talked about that. Infrared communication signals, they may be pushing infrared, you never know. Near-field intra-body communication signals are Radio signals. This radio devices can be used. I'm just kind of going through here. There were some things that I was wanting to see. RF signals, while further being subject to actual limitations in terms of the tendency of many objects, tend to block the transmission of those signals. Of course, that's why they want 5G towers in front of everybody's houses. I just said fifth generation towers in front of everybody's houses because they have even though they have a high output, a high radio frequency output, they don't travel very far, which I think sounds extremely ridiculous. Because if the fourth generation signals can go for miles and miles, the third generation signals can go for miles and miles. Why can't the fifth generation signals go for the same amount? It's a higher microwave frequency, but it doesn't go as far. Redundancy is room for divorce. Swapping of battery packs helps. Present invention is directed to methods or apparatus for distributing power to devices coupled to the human body. The invention is also directed to methods and apparatus for communicating information, data, and control signals to devices coupled to the human body. In accordance with the present invention, the human body is used as a conductive medium. Now get this, to avoid the need for digital circuitry, to avoid the need to actually hook something up into your body, in audio output devices, some of the communication signals may be analog signals, may be transmitted to a speaker using the human body as communications media in which the audio signal is transmitted. So here we go. Now down here, a pulsed DC signal or AC signal may be used as the power source by using multiple power supply signals of differing frequencies. Different devices can be selectively powered. For example, a 100 hertz signal may be used to power a first device, while a 150 hertz signal may be used to power a second device. Digital data and or other information signals, audio signals, this is audio, can be modulated on the power signal using frequency and or amplitude modulation techniques. Now, you've got a lot of people out there that are talking about constantly hearing ringing in your ears. This is something that has become a thing now. It is a constant ringing in your ears. I have a ringing in my ear right now. It's constantly there. Your body has just become so used to it that you don't really think that it's there. I don't ever remember having ringing in my ears as a kid, but it is what it is. But we are bathed in RF signals now. We are just drowning in RF signals now. This is talking about using an audio signal at a certain hertz. Maybe a signal that we can't pick up immediately, but that they are using to send through to the devices that we use, through our bodies, to other devices. Think about that for a second. Think about what that means. That ringing in your ears could be what this is. I'm not going to say what this is. But again, we know that they don't just make these patents just to have them out there. They make these patents to, first of all, put it out there what they could be doing. And secondly, to do it. Because if you know what their plans are, what they do, then they are not at fault whenever you fall for it. They do not have the guilt. They have to. It's that secret spiritual truth that everything in this world has to follow, is that you have to tell people and they have to willingly go along with it. That's what this whole system is about. You have to willingly go along with it. The truth is out there. You're not completely ignorant in this world. They will tell you. But people choose to be ignorant because not only do they give you the truth, they give you every single option to not see the truth. What if that's what this is? The more I think about this, the more I think, it's amazing how this could work. Now, this gets even weirder, though. The proposed methods of the present invention enabled the use of a whole new class of wearable devices. These devices do not have a direct interface, but are instead used as relays for collecting and transmitting information to the user. For example, earrings, which can be used to measure the person's pulse rate or even deliver sound to the ear via a phone worn on the person's belt. To program the earring directly would be a quite cumbersome task. However, the earring's parameters could be set via another device that is large enough and has the appropriate user interface to enter data. The user could use this device to control the volume of the earrings or to control other function of this device. Now, that sounds a lot like AirPods. The earbuds, your Beats, whatever they are. All these people that walk around with their damn radio frequency headphones in their ears, and they're walking around with them constantly. We talk about Bluetooth. This could be the precursor to Bluetooth. Hey, you never know. This is the year 2000. But this is talking about using your body. We're talking about we get down to kinetic energy here. Because the devices of the present invention are networked, they can be recharged and powered by other devices on the network. Kinetic to power converters and power converters can be used in this network to sustain the network's power. In other words, your body heat, your body energy, the things that you do, the way that you move, could be used to power these devices, to give these things data. Again, we could be the Bluetooth. It is entirely possible with this patent. We are the Bluetooth. That the phone may not be just talking to the car stereo, or it may not be talking to your laptop, or it may not be talking to your Bluetooth headset. It may be talking through your body to those devices because of this patent. Now, there's more to it. Kinetic converters in shoes, smart shoes, which were a thing about 10 years ago, and on wristwatches, which is your Apple Watches. Everybody talks about the watches, can be used to convert the kinetic energy of the user to electrical power and to distribute that power to the rest of the network. You would essentially become the network. You would not only be the battery, now you would not only be the copper top, you would also be the transmitter. If you're the transmitter, then why do they need the radio towers? This is yet another property that distinguishes devices of the present invention from other networks, such as RF or IR. Maybe they didn't make it. Maybe they just put it up there as a possibility and it got put through, but they never invented it. It wasn't real. Maybe it's not a real thing. Maybe I'm making a big case out of this over nothing. Maybe it's not a thing. Whatever. You're out of your mind. Come on, Nico. What are you doing here? Maybe I am. Who knows? I could be going crazy. I could be going absolute crazy. I wanted to show you these human antenna patent is what it's called. Oh my God. You go into Google patents and you get to see the actual diagrams of these things, which are creepy within themselves. Look at this guy. But it talks about having the phone on there. The shoes are the kinetic energy. The portable devices that you wear, the device around your arm if you're jogging, your phone, an oscillator. That's weird. Let me go back into this. Your earbuds, the system sends it through, and you are the bus. You are the energy. You are the way that this all works. It's a little weird, You are the energy that pushes this all through. The only reason I'm really getting into it, though, is because I saw this, and again, this is 2000, 2004. It got pulled back through in, what was it? It said to expire in 2020, which is weird. But it was assigned, they reassigned it in 2014. It's anticipated to expire 2 years ago. So it's expired. But they still had this there. They may not have used it. Again, this may all be for nothing. I may be going out of my mind and going crazy. But this sounded similar to something else that's the same thing, that I had talked about before. That's the WO2020 060606A1. When did this go? When did this expire? 4/27/2020. They picked this up in 2018. So what happened was they published the 0606. This is a thing now. There's no ending to this so far. Which again, this was amazing. This was put out exactly 13 days. This was published 13 days. Is that right? 13 days? Or no? 15 days. 15 days after the lockdowns were talked about. The WHO, not the lockdowns. The WHO talked about the pandemic. Trump came out and talked about the pandemic 15 days after. And this pops up. And everybody was like, wait a minute. Come on now. So this was 3/26/2020. They let this expire because this is almost the exact same thing. Almost. This has elements of that other thing. This was using your body, using the energy generated by your body. It could be taken and given to an external source, and that source could I'm trying to think of a good way to put it, could see what you've done with your body, could tell the motions that you've done with your body, could chronicle the movements, the energy that you produced. And then it could say, well, you moved X amount of times, you used X amount of energy, you did X amount of all this stuff, therefore you mined X amount of cryptocurrency. You were able to do your work, whatever work that is, and you were able to earn X amount of cryptocurrency. That's what WO20200606 is. It's part of that beast system. We talked about this. There is a reason why it is a 666. These things didn't just pop up out of nowhere. These things are, actually legit. The whole of the patent number is New World Order, the WO World Order 2020. 2020 was whenever they pulled the trigger. The 060606, that's the satanic beast system, the A1, the pyramid, the number one, the whole thing. This is part of their system, and they're talking about digital currencies now, and I talked about RFID chips, and I talked about the ID2020, where you would not be able to get online unless you had digital identification, because they want everybody to have digital identification that tells who you are, where you are, your medical records, your vaccine status, updates, everything. That you would not be able to function in this world unless you had all of this stuff. And being in this world, you would have this on you. If you sat around and did nothing and was a non-productive human, you would not get money. If you did your job, if you were allowed to be tracked and traced everywhere you went, using this system, which can track you and trace you everywhere. Because remember, in 2020 or in 2000, whenever they made this thing, whenever they made this to just simply, send and receive power through the human body, there was not a tracking and tracing system as well as it was now. Remember that the Patriot Act in America was not even a thing in 2000. That it didn't even come around until 2001, 2002. And it has been reinvigorated or reinstalled, I guess, every year since. Every time it has come up for, somebody to say, oh, no, we're going to do that. No, they just sign it right back into power. It was, I talked about this. This just came up, I think it was a couple weeks ago, where there was some big, huge distraction back in 2018. Something big was happening, and in the background, Trump re-signed the Patriot Act. Like it was nothing. Just casually, just re-signed it back into power. It was like, I thought we were trying to get rid of this. But no, it came back into power. So they have been able to do all of these things to you over 20 years. And now that we're at a point where everything you do is monitored. They don't need to install cameras everywhere, but they're doing it just for the hell of it, Everything you do and say online, go somewhere. Everything I'm talking right now is being monitored. YouTube has to send every single one of my videos through an AI that has to monitor every word I say to make sure I don't say something out of place. Every email, every text, every phone message you have. Now, they used to say, oh, you can't do that. There's not enough servers in the world to hold that much technology or to hold that much information. But they can now because of the way it is. Not only using this patent, this technology. They may have let the patent run out, but they still may be using this technology. With this technology, they could very easily store that much data. With the server farms, or transmit that much data. With the server farms, they could store that much data. There are entire blocks full of buildings that I don't even think they're even in the buildings. I think they're underground. I think part of this whole deep underground military base things, that everybody talks about, I think they're storing the servers down there. Why? Because the further down you go, the colder it gets. So why wouldn't you put servers underground where it's cold? Because these servers need a lot of heat. Not the quantum servers. The new quantum servers, apparently they run really cold all the time. So they're storing them underground. Why would you need all these dumbs to store people? No, you don't. They're building server bases to store information on everybody so that they can control you It's a control grid, the whole thing. And this is just another one of those patents. Just another one of those that led to this. WO2020060606 was published a month before the other one ran out. That goes into the ID2020. That goes into this one. I had to look this one up again too. The HR6666. The tracking and tracing. This wasn't just about COVID. This was about putting everybody on a control grid, on a tracking grid. It didn't matter whether you were sick or not. This was to get everybody on a grid. I talked about this. I even had to go back. I had to look at my old video. This is my old video from YouTube. And I'm going to put this in the description so that people can watch this one again if you want to. Because this one was one of those that I had that it just kind of blew up, and it was unexpected. I didn't think people were going to actually watch it, but I was just, and this is old too. This isn't even where I was or where I am now. This is old school stuff. But it's all tied together. The money system, the tracking system, the patents that can use your body to track how much work you do in order to pay you. The digital currency, the RFIDs, the ID system, the Great Reset, everything. You keep seeing it over and over again. This is just another piece of that puzzle. So I saw this, and I wanted to share this just to make sure everybody knew. And I'm sure that some people could look at this and they could pull stuff out of this and they could say, oh, wow, there's more to this than just what this guy was talking about. And I'm sure people might have talked about this before too. It's all there. The fact of using audio signals and the fact that people have started complaining over the past 10 years, really, really bad, started complaining about the ringing in their ears. Think about it. Is anything truth anymore? Is anything they tell us true anymore? It's all there to hurt us and destroy us. And all I am here trying to do is trying to tell people. So take whatever you can out of this, as it will. Again, I could be wrong. I could be the biggest, craziest conspiracy theorist nut in the world. But you can see it. You can see past it. You can see how these things work together. And I'm sure that there's going to be more people that are going to find out that there are more patents that probably have more to do with this stuff. They've already got the infrastructure in place. All they have to do is just make it happen. So I'm calling evil out where it is. That's all I can do. Is call evil out where it is. I may be screaming against a brick wall because, this is my life now, screaming against a brick wall. But I wanted to just say that. I wanted to get that out there. I need to go clean up my mom's house because, she passed away. The term died suddenly is the thing. So you know how that went. But I need to go do that. I'll try to wake up earlier tomorrow. We'll do another chapter of Jeremiah. But guys, you got to pay attention to this stuff. I just happened to see it. Somebody just posted it on Twitter. Hey, did you know that Microsoft has a patent that yada, yada, yada? Well, they don't have a patent anymore because they let it expire, but they have a new patent now. But it's still the same thing. Just because the patent is out there and you didn't hear about these things being out in the world does not mean they're not using it. They could very easily be using this stuff behind our backs. What do you truly know about the signals that are coming out of your phones? What do you truly know about the signals that are coming out of your headsets, your earbuds, what do we truly know about the signals that are coming out of those towers? And to make it worse, like I said, what do we know about what's coming? About how they're going to need to find a way to track our movements to know whether we did what we were supposed to do. Because they want us all separated. They want us all isolated. Isolation creates people that are easier to be controlled. They found that out. So they just keep you at home. They make you work from a desk. How do they make sure that you're working from a desk? Well, you have to wear a watch. You have to wear some kind of device on your body to make sure that you're working, because there's a lot of people that are sitting at home, and I'm just as guilty of this as anybody else. I get up every so often and I have to go do something, and yeah, I'm not working. It is what it is. I can't stay on a computer for all 8 hours. I have to get up and move around. And sure, sometimes my break goes 5 minutes over. I get it. That's fine. I still get my work done. I still get my quota done. But how do they track you? Well, that's whenever your business says, hey, we have this new device that, here, wear this, or you have, they track you through your IP. I've heard that. That was the warning that they gave us when we started working from home, is that, the company can track what you do through the IP, and we're able to know if you're working or not. And yet I never heard anything about it since. I have tested that. I have tested that theory that they've put out there, and I haven't heard anything about it. But they need to track you everywhere you go, everything you do. They need to track you 24/7 to make sure that you're not doing anything that they don't want you to do. So they want to put something on your body to track your movements. And they will say, the only way that you can get money, the only way that you can get this digital currency that we have coming up, is if you take this and put it in your body so that we can make sure that you're making money. Because we don't want to just be paying people for doing nothing, or for faking it, or for, whatever. We want to make sure you're doing it. That's the mark of the beast. That's taking the mark. That's doing the thing. That's the whole experience, everything. And there are certain things that I talked about that got some of these videos taken down. You say mark of the beast, you claim mark of the beast, and boy howdy, they go nuts. I don't even know if this video will last. I don't know. I don't know anymore. You can't. If they are censoring you, we were just talking about this in the car yesterday. If they are censoring you, that means they have something to hide. The harder they censor you, the bigger the thing it is that they're trying to hide. If you want to start waking up your friends, you want to start waking up your family, start talking about the patents. Just start talking about them. Say, why would they have these things in place? Just show them Agenda 2030. Show them the World Economic Forum. Show them the Great Reset. The damn book is on Amazon. Go read the book. The Great Reset by Klaus Schwab. This isn't even, we're past conspiracy theories. This is now officially a conspiracy. And they're not even hiding it. It's right there in front of your face. Everybody's talking about it like, it's the new world order. It's the new way that we're going to do things now. And it takes away every freedom you ever had ever. Wake up. I don't know if these videos of China are true or not, where they're, supposedly 20,000 people inside of a what do you want to call it? Isolation farms. These stack and pack buildings where they're putting all these people that supposedly tested positive. I don't know if those are true or not. They look fake as hell. I mean, really, have you seen the China space videos that look so completely out of control fake. I mean, who says that they're not faking all the other stuff too, just to get us all scared? You can't trust anything anymore. Cannot trust anything anymore. Don't trust me. Don't trust me. Go find it out for yourself. This stuff's easy to find. What was the number again? US patent 6754472B1. 72 is a number that keeps popping up everywhere. 72. 44. 44 is, some people say it's a good number, some people say it's a bad number. Some people say 44 is a number of death. Is that right? Hold on a second. Okay, never mind. I was looking at something else. Sorry. Everything's there. Everything is there. I hope some people get it. I really hope some people get it, and some people can take it and run with it and understand it better than I can. And I'm hoping that it gets out to a bigger audience and, something. But it's all just part of the same thing. I'm not talking about anything new. This is old stuff. I'm rehashing old ground. But it came back around into my sphere of reality while I'm trying to take care of, all this other stuff. And I said, I got to talk about this. We got to talk about this. We got to really talk about this. So, use your discernment. Put on the full armor of God. Pray to the Father that He will protect you through this and give you the truth, the ultimate truth in everything. And God bless you all. Take care of yourselves. I shall talk to you guys later. Just look into it. Man. All right. You guys take it easy.